go through, please, if you have any questions, let me know as we go through. So I'm going to introduce you to both QuickBooks and Enterprise. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about is I'll bring Enterprise up first. They look very similar. So this is Enterprise, and this is QuickBooks Accountant. In your office, I want to make sure that you're aware you really want to invest, especially in the construction industry, for the accountant's version. There are different versions you can toggle to. So there's just general business. There's a Premier Accountant edition. Then we have a contractor edition, manufacturing, nonprofits, Premier Professional Services, retail, and then just regular QuickBooks Pro. So I'm going to select contractor. The different types of QuickBooks has different types of reports embedded within them. So we're going to go to contractor first. So I'm going to toggle to it. When you first set up your QuickBooks at your place of business, this is a one-time setup, but since I'm a QuickBooks Pro advisor, I toggle in between all the time. So it'll take a few minutes. Take some caffeine Diet Pepsi. Living life on the edge today, I tell you. Becky, you look amazing.
Thank you, girl. It's good to see you.
It's great to see
Sorry
you.
for dashing in a little late.
That's okay.
I missed the exit. Had to go and turn around and come back.
I almost did.
Yeah.
I was just.
I know. Do.
That's fine.
How many times have you been here?
That's
Yes.
why, because we're not paying attention.
Exactly.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay, so you will see I've opened sample companies in both QuickBooks and Enterprise. I have to reopen it now, so let me open it. So the menus are generally the same, and I will show you the differences first, and then I'm going to go through what I go through when I sit down with clients to do basic setup. I think it's worth the time to go through the preferences because a lot of people don't realize. I was just at a client's, I think yesterday or the day before, they didn't even know there was an option to do enter instead of tab. And they're like, oh my gosh, if you're a 10-key person, that makes a huge difference in time. So when you come in to QuickBooks, it'll tell you kind of what's new. They do have a new up here, condensed data. Be careful when you do that. It will smush years into journal entries and get rid of invoices and other stuff. I mean, you'll have the numbers in the accounts, but it condenses it down. So you want to be very careful and mindful when you do that. There are some new items with setting up employees and timesheets that I'll talk about. At our firm, we have been using T-Sheets, and it's been awesome. There's a way to link T-Sheets in with your QuickBooks. So if you have workers out on the job site and you have them entering the job and what they're doing, you can import and everything comes through, which is awesome for certified payrolls and job costing reports. Okay, welcome, yay. Okay, so across the top, file, you can open or restore, open in previous, and you'll see the list there. You can actually have two companies open, which is nice, especially when you have two at the same time. That's also helpful too if you have due to, due froms. I don't know if companies loan back and forth or if they invoice back and forth, but that's a nice thing to have up so the due to, due froms always equal. Backup, I cannot stress backup enough because if you lose something, it's awful. I highly recommend online backups. If you need us to make an introduction to someone, that's great. QuickBooks has its own product. I think Carbonite has its own backup. So when I really hit home to me was when they had that huge tornado in Joplin, Missouri, and I started going to continuing educations, and I try to always hit IT, and then I love the HR stories. Those are just kind of fun to go to because you hear all these crazy stories. But what they said was interesting is people were making backups and they were putting them in the safes at their work. But when a F5 comes through, you can't even find the safe. So definitely try to do online. I have some people who have office managers that'll keep a flash drive on like a key ring and they'll just rotate them in and out. I have some people who have safety deposit boxes. The question always comes up, how often should I back up? The correct answer is, how far back do you want to go and enter?
Which one do you want to do?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So one thing that we do, like if we do your payrolls or we do accounting and we get a backup, we obviously keep them on our drives, but we're doing that quarterly or annually, so that would really not be comfortable to go back and enter all that. The other thing I learned at the workshop is people that lose all their accounting data, to recover from that is really hard. I think it was 75% of the companies can't come back. They either have to reorganize and move forward or they just shut down. Because again, you have your invoicing and all this stuff in the office, and if that goes away, you're good. Okay, creating a company, close a company. In certain instances, you can have multi-users, so you can have someone entering bills and someone bank wrecking and stuff depending on what you're doing. If you're backing up, you need to be in single user mode, so you just switch from one to the other.